So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Karol, the Pope, the Man, 2006. I'm giving this 2 out of 5 stars. I just like this one, although I thought it was better than Karol, a Man Who Became Pope. This is part 2, available for the first time in a video set. These 2 highly acclaimed films on the heroic true story of Saint John Paul II, star Peter Adamczyk as the beloved Kara Wojtyła, pardon my Polish, who became the Pope. Film Wojtyła, thank you. My son corrected me. Filmed on location in Poland and Italy, these 2 movies also feature gorgeous music by the legendary film composer Ennio Morricone. Purchased today to start watching. Karol, a Man Who Became Pope, follows the amazing life of Kara Wojtyła from his teenage years on the threshold of life as an actor, writer, and poet when he sees his world shattered with the Nazi invasion of Poland in 1939. This saga follows the decision to become a priest and his struggles under the Nazi regime up until the papal conclave, the papal conclave of 1970. No mention of the Russian satellite enslavement, communist enslavement of Poland, which was also a major theme. Karol, the Pope, the Man, focuses on his new life as the Pope and the tremendous impact Pope John Paul II had on the church and the world until his death in 2005. It tells the dramatic story of the most influential papacy in modern times. I had forgotten that he was assassinated, which is a major part of the film. He ended up forgiving his assassinator. Just some random dude who got hired to pop a cap on the Pope, or the pseudo-Pope, I should say, the modernist Pope, the heretical Pope, the anti-Pope. JP2. This movie has many problems, not the least of which he calls his doctor a scientist. Does that mean that scientists never make mistakes? I think people were saying that same thing. But I won't go into that. Let's just say that doctors were advertising cigarettes in magazines back in the 50s.
I think you're right. It helps with ADHD.
It helps with ADD? ADHD, which is what you've got now, staring at your phone? All right. My son said the doctors were correct in advertising cigarette smoking because it had a health benefit of of doing away with ADHD, condition that my cousin had, and they just jacked him up on Ritalin, which is like cocaine. What? They should have given him tobacco. The only thing he would eat was pizza and macaroni and cheese. He's a picky eater like my son. My son won't eat mushy stuff like pulled pork. Anyways, well, unless it's from Armadillo Willie's. My son is here. This is the Thanksgiving edition of my channel, and you might be wondering what's up with the background. I had to rent another hotel in Belmont because the one I got in San Francisco is too tiny, and it's got it had a bug issue, but I think I got rid of all the cockroaches and the gnats. I suppose I could sleep on the floor, but I don't think my son wants to go to a flea bag hotel in San Francisco, and I don't think his mother wants him to go either. So we've got Karol, the Pope, the Man, 2006 TV miniseries directed by Giacomo Battiato, chronicling Pope John Paul II's life as Pope in flashbacks. They skipped over a lot of stuff. It did have an overarching anti-war message, particularly during the Persian Gulf War and the 9/11 false flag event. It covers the period of his life from the October 22nd, 1978 papal inauguration to his death in 2005. I had forgotten that he lived that long. I had forgotten that he got assassinated. Or maybe I wasn't paying attention at the time. For sure, I wasn't paying attention when he had Parkinson's disease. I had no idea. It is the sequel to the 2005 TV miniseries, Karol, a Man Who Became Pope, the crappy biography, which portrayed John Paul's life before the papacy and ended on October 16, 1978, the day of his papal election. All right, we've got a running time of 155 minutes, way too long. There was no way I was gonna finish this 3-hour movie last night, especially with my son staring at his phone while I was unpacking here. He was completely useless and lazy and incompetent. He forgot his dress clothes, which means we missed mass because he couldn't put on his clothes fast enough. By the time I drove him back to his house at 6 in the morning.
You told me to get dressed in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I told him to get dressed in 2 minutes, and it took him 11 minutes to put on his dress shirt and his pants. Well, I texted your mother and I got no response. Okay. I guess pagans get to sleep in on Thanksgiving. That's nice.
It's a holiday.
I was prepared to go to mass, but my son wasn't. But I got laundry done. Okay. I just got Tabasco sauce in my eyes. Sorry about that. A review in the Star Phoenix called Karol, the Pope, the Man. A remarkable film. Remarkable because it manages to be both profound and entertaining. And they praised actor Piotr Adamczyk for his portrayal of John Paul. Okay, so here's the problem, as I see it. It makes no mention of his 1980 encyclical, which is the greatest encyclical ever written, which is amazing for this kind of post-Vatican II papacy. There's no question that his writing skills are superior. I'm not going to criticize him in that aspect. What I do criticize is him going to Calcutta with Mother Teresa and giving last rite or some kind of blessing to a dying Hindu man. Those kind of things are reserved for Catholics, and he seems to be calling a lot for reconciliation with the other pseudo religions. Which makes his religion even more suspect. So he seems to be promoting the bad parts of Vatican II in this one. And he keeps talking about human dignity. I thought we Catholics are supposed to be like humble and we're supposed to pray and do penance because we're not worthy. But he's saying that we have human dignity, which sort of plays into the another bad part of Vatican II, I guess. I don't know. I could blame everything on Vatican II, I guess. Who knows? Yeah, nobody knows what I'm talking about. I'm just going off on a tangent here about human dignity. All right. Karol the Pope the Man. Original title, Karol. Un Papa Rimastro Uomo. TV movie 2006, 2 hours and 35 minutes. I think it's longer than that. The version that I saw on form.org was it was 2 hours 58 minutes and 43 seconds. So I don't know what version they're referring to on IMDb. It gets a pretty decent 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 1,300 ratings. Here's a more flattering review on IMDb. RPS2 calls it really splendid stuff. 9 out of 10 on IMDb, which is even higher than the average rating. So RPS2 dates his IMDb review April 16, 2006. And the title of the review on IMDb is really splendid stuff. I am an apostate Catholic, an agnostic, and a cynic, yet I was moved strongly by this excellent film, which, if anything, is better than the first. Mind you, the bad guys are a little too bad. Heck, even assassins shave sometimes, and not all Soviet officials were quite as dour as the Russian heavies here. And surely Pope Paul John must have had some character flaws. however tiny. Yeah, he was a heretic and an apostate. But no matter, the film captures the goodness of the man without being either preachy or idealistic. This is a well done historical epic that I trust will be trotted out every 10 or 15 years. It definitely will stand the test of time. And coincidentally, kudos to CBC for showing it first in North America. So another problem is that they're saying that JP was responsible for the Berlin Wall collapse because of some kind of solidarity speech, pro-solidarity speech he did in Poland. I don't know. More like this. Karol, un uomo diventato papa, which is terrible, and ironically, it gets a higher rating than this one. Should be the other way around. Padre Pio, and then we've got Unplanned, and Ignatius of Loyola. The images of the morning in St. Peter's Square at the beginning and the end of the movie are real newsreel footage. The images of John Paul's return to Poland, the reports of the assassination attempt, and the images of the World Youth Day in Paris are also real footage. On December 13th, 1981, the Pope is informed by the cardinals about the introduction of martial law in Poland. When he asks for fatalities, he is told about 9 miners shot at the Wujek coal mine. However, the shooting at Wujek took place 3 days later, on December 16th, 1981. Another historical inaccuracy, or at least one among possible others. This follows Karol, un uomo diventato papa, 2005, which we absolutely hated. But you can tell from the movie title and the forum.org, that the movie was going to be whack. Release date April 16th, 2006 in Canada. Countries of origin, Italy, Poland, and Canada. There's an official website in Spain. The languages are English and Polish, also known as Karol 2, El Papa, El Hombre. Filming locations, Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. So Papa Heretic Apostate, he likes to go to Africa to help the poor people. Production company Tadu Film. Gross worldwide, $8,398,420. Runtime, 2 hours, 35 minutes, 155 minutes. This was in color, and the aspect ratio is 1.85 to 1. Now, what this movie neglected to mention was that one of Jorge W. Bush, or was it Bush Sr.? Read My Lips. Was it Mr. Read My Lips? He sent one of his cabinet members, one of the 2 presidents who attacked Iraq, sent a cabinet member to go banging on the Vatican door and to beg for JP2 to back the Persian Gulf War. And he wouldn't even let them in the Vatican. He refused to talk to them. That's one historical aspect that got left out. And another historical aspect, well, that and the encyclical got left out. And then you've got the problem of the coal miners shooting, which did there's a lack of continuity there. It's off by 3 days. And you got all the typical heretical Vatican II stuff, the bad parts. And I don't know why conservatives love this man. They love this man. And they love Ratzinger. As a matter of fact, Father Ilo, the church pastor that we were supposed to go to this morning, but my son was unprepared. He became a priest because he liked JP2 back in the 80s. So, or was it late 70s? I don't know. Maybe it was around Jimmy Carter presidency, late 70s. I guess that's when he became a priest under the Novus Ordo religion of JP2. And there's actually a picture of him with JP2 on his blog, which I stopped reading, by the way, because I got sick and tired of the neocon evangelical warhawk nonsense that this particular priest preaches all the time, especially on Battle of Lepanto Day. He's preaching the gospel of Lepanto. I'm talking about your favorite priest, Father Ilo, the one who tells you to get a haircut. Huh? Anyways, I got sick and tired of this priest. I disassociated myself with his pro-life nonsense, and got myself and my son kicked out of Legion of Mary. So I'm not going to Walk for Life next year. I don't know about you. Huh? You're the one who said there's no point to it. And I might add, they're not making any demands. They're not saying like ban the abortion pill, prosecute Planned Parenthood, or put a national ban on abortions. They're not demanding anything. They're just parading around. They're astroturfing. It's just a big parade, the Walk for Life. So I'd rather not go unless my son drags me into it again, like he did this year. But I think he just wanted to hang out with his this huge Filipino family of 10. They drive around in a big white van, and they put patriotic and Catholic bumper stickers on their thing. I think they have a Star of the Sea bumper sticker on their white van. Anyways, I'm going down the list. I've got Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, 1991. Then Escape by Night, 1937. And Paths of Glory, 1957. Thanks for checking out my video. The connection is much better here than at the Fleabag Hotel, so it didn't drop my connection. And but I think my Chromebook got banged up because I'm seeing lines on the screen in the bottom left corner. Even with the sleeve, I still have problems with the screen on these Chromebooks. I don't know if I should get a new one. What do you think? Should I spend my
Still usable. Perfectly usable.
yeah, it's just a minor annoyance. It's barely noticeable. And besides, I get food on my screen all the time.
How much you eat?
So it's about the same nuisance as having food on my screen, I think. I shouldn't waste my money on another Chromebook. I tend to agree with my son. Anyways, it's time for Davidson and the Marlboro Man, 1991. So my son was complaining about my food selection. He's very picky eating. He's a very picky eater. So I bought him this huge apple pie, which is just sitting in the refrigerator. And he hasn't even touched it yet. I guess I'll try to heat it up later. But he ate at 4:55 or something. And so I'm holding off on making him dinner. But I'm just going to try to give him 4 different things so that he can kind of nitpick one or 2 that he likes, possibly 3.
Cook me gravy next time.
Cook you what?
Talk about it later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Laters.